Make sure you guys subscribe to Cat Harvey SNL on YouTube and definitely stay tuned for my exclusive interview with John Marshall Jones. He has a new movie out called The Last Revolutionary. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss this interview.
Hi, I'm John Marshall Jones, and I watch Cat Harvey. Success, nothing less.
Hey, what's up, world? I'm Kat Harvey. I'm excited to have a special guest with us. He needs no introduction. He's one of the Hollywood superstars, actor. I mean, he's been in a lot of films, TV shows. One of my favorite, I'm not going to tell my age, but I should. I'm 27, and he used to be the dad on Smart Guy. I grew up on that show, so it's one of my favorite shows, and I talk about it all the time. So I'm so glad to have actor John Marshall Jones, and he has a new movie that's out, The Last Revolutionary. I got that right? Okay, just want to make sure. How have you been?
Everything is good. You know, bills are paid, family's healthy. I got no complaints.
Oh, awesome. You know, I know a lot of people look up to you, and you've been in the industry for how long now?
Wow, long time.
No, because I'm asking that because I know a lot of people, you know, I'm included, that want to move to California, and a lot of people, you know, get the,
Okay.
I guess the perception that you can just jump and move out there and everything's going to work itself out. Has that been the process for you as far as when you first started and now?
No, what I was told when I first started was don't come to LA until you have an agent and you're in the union. And I was kind of grinding in Chicago at the time. And so I just kept grinding until I got an agent that wanted to rep me out here, and got a union card there in Chicago. And then I came out, and everything's been pretty smooth since then. It was a really good piece of advice.
Okay. So out of all the work that you have done, which one was kind of the most challenging role for you?
I did a play called The Guest at Central Park West in New York several years ago that I won the Best Actor Award, the Adelco Award, which is New York's African American Theater Awards, and was a character named Terrence Barlow, who was a schizophrenic, homeless ex-gangbanger who was also more brilliant and well-read than every professor on the stage.
Wow. But did you have to?
Yeah, so you can imagine.
Oh my God. Did you have to go to like a place, like
Yeah, you can imagine.
to train?
Yeah, I mean, kind of what you do is every character has an element of humanity in it. And what you're trying to find is that thread that connects you to the character, no matter how despicable what the character is doing. And so, you know, first and then start to build the character out. So yeah, we spent time, you know, out on the streets and spent time. There was a couple days where, you know, I went without taking a bath for a couple of days, then went and stood out and talked crazy on the street. People react to you. It was a fascinating process. The character also was very, very articulate and spoke in these long blocks of passionate dialogue. And so, you know, taking a guy who, you know, is in and out of reality, it has these long blocks of really deep, intense dialogue. It was quite a challenge. The Adelco Award for that, and you know, Morgan Freeman has an Adelco Award, Denzel has an Adelco Award, and I am now.
Wow, that's amazing. So, you know, what's been the toughest part of this process? I know, you know, we all have our ups and downs. What were those for you, and how did you get past through them?
The toughest part of the process is learning how to manage your money,
Mm.
because money comes in fast and hot, and then it's gone, you don't make any money for a while. And then it comes in fast and hot, and then you don't make any money for a while. And while it's coming in fast and hot, it feels like it's always going to do that. And the temptation are to create a lifestyle based on that fast, hot money. And so what you have to learn is that no matter how successful you become, until you've established another level of life, you don't change your lifestyle. And once I kind of got that part, things started to flow a lot easier because don't work. There's ups and downs. That is just the nature of the business. But how you handle your personal life, making that a steady stream rather than something that goes up and down every day, that's what will determine how long you're able to last at this.
Now talk about investing. What was the biggest investment that you had to make into yourself that you found out, I guess, paid off the most?
I bought a couple of pieces of property. I bought a home on the west side of Los Angeles with a view of the ocean about 15 years ago. And then that was off of Smart Guy. I bought a penthouse up in Vancouver, British Columbia. And how it's worked out is that the penthouse is something that I rent out, so other people pay for that. And as time has gone on, I've been able to structure investments so that the income from the investments now pays for the house. Those investments are paid for by other people, other entities, and yet they go up in value every year. So money doesn't come out of my pocket.
Right.
At the same time, the investment gets more and more valuable. So I would say to anybody, if you can just think of a simple principle, buy stuff that other people will pay for. And if you can do that, you're going to do great. You know, when you buy a home, buy a duplex or a triplex to start off with so other people can pay the note.
Oh my gosh, I think you're like one of the first people, well, not the first, but one of the few people who just get it. And I talk about that all the time. So now, for instance, I have a house in Capitol Hill, right near the White House in DC. And I'm 27, and I tell people, all the time, a lot of people are pressed to get homes. And I'm very against that because I understand money like you. Why settle for the $200,000 or $300,000 house where you could take that same money and have, like you said, a duplex or fourplex or whatever and start off that way? And people just don't understand it. So I'm glad that you said that. And then also they think because they get a lot of money that, it's not how much money you make, it's how much you keep, which is basically what you were saying, and invest as well.
Yeah, and buying things that other people pay for means that that you don't have to keep taking money out of your pocket to pay for your investments. And that's what you're trying to keep from doing. If you got to keep putting money into it out of your pocket, you're not moving forward. You're just maintaining. You're treading water. You're head above water. But if other people are paying for the investment, then you can take the money that you're making and put it into other investments. And you don't need 1,000 different investments. You need 2 or 3 good ones. So over the course, you're 27 now. If you keep this home till you're my age, that'll be 30 years from now. 3, 4, 5 times as much. And if in the meantime you decide to get something else and you rent this one out, now somebody else is paying for that, and you can go ahead and start building something else up. So it's the principle of getting other people to pay for the stuff that you own that will help you to money a lot faster.
Now I know Hollywood is very small. What do you do if you have a situation where somebody has done you wrong? I'm sure it has happened to you in business or colleague or how do you handle that situation without, I guess, like, gossiping about it? Like, because I know it's kind of hard to do and it's so small. You know how you're around people and somebody may rub you the wrong way. How do you let that not affect future opportunities by talking about it to the wrong person? Hollywood is so small.
Well, you know, it really comes down to letting the water roll off your back,
Mm.
because um, you have to keep moving forward, and eventually you are going to run across that person again. And what it's going to come down to is, are you going to make the same mistake twice? However they got you the first time, get you like that again. At the same time, you got to keep the paper flowing. Let personal stuff about what somebody did wrong affect your ability to get your paper. There are many movies that somewhere between the start of principal photography and the time that it actually gets to the movie screen or the TV screen fall apart because people fell out over credit. Because
Mm.
I did this and you did that and I took this, and or somebody taking the script and taking their name, somebody else's name off of it, and putting, and all of that stuff is all stuff that don't have nothing to do with you getting your money. So let's say somebody steals your movie script, that they stole a movie script. You can run over right now and stop them from making the movie, but nobody gets paid
Mm.
until they make the movie, get the movie out into the marketplace, up a value, then go ahead with your lawsuit. Now they have developed a value for your film, for your movie script, that's much higher than you had it as a script. It's now a movie that's now taking in ticket money. It's worth something, where when you had a script, it was just a script. That's when you sue, so you can go get your money. Stop it before it has a chance to make money, or nobody gets paid. And that's kind of works. Is you have to, even when people are doing you wrong, if they're on their way to making money, work in line, you let the money start to come in, and that's when you hit them. Otherwise, you just stop in the flow of the money, and you can't ever do that.
Mm. Exactly. So, since we're on the topic, I want you to talk about your experience with racism. Because I know you have, and a lot of people, even still to this day, who haven't had the run-ins, think that it can't happen to you, especially at the level that you're at. So can you talk about that and kind of how you would handle it or have handled it?
Well, listen, racism expresses itself in many different ways, and it's all throughout American society, from the very subtle thing of, some woman scooting over into the corner of the elevator and clutching her bag when you get in, even though you got more money in your pocket than she does, to um, executives telling you that black movies don't sell over in Europe. So, Will Smith's movie just made $500 million over there, and they will say, "Oh, but Will Smith's not black; he's mainstream." Oh, well, Denzel's movie just made $250 million over there. Oh, well, Denzel's not black. Now, that person doesn't think they're racist, but if they have uh, been able to get success from being black. So if you're successful at a certain level, you're no longer black to them. How racism expresses itself. And so years ago, I met James Earl Jones, and I asked him this very same question. Was, I try not to think about it too much, because if you think about it, it gives it too much power.
Mm.
And so that's kind of where I'm at. I try not to focus on that racism creates, because there is always a way in. There's always an avenue in. There's always a peephole in. Is to find that avenue, to find that peephole, and enter. You know, I could sit back and say they're not creating the role that I want to play, or I can write it, produce it, and then get out there and make sure it gets entered into the marketplace. And that's what has happened with this latest film, The Last Revolutionary.
Yeah, so talk about the film. I was looking at it online, but yeah, tell everybody what it's about and why they need to come go support it.
The Last Revolutionary is about two former Black Panthers, one who has become a modern day suburbanite, and the other who's still in the same apartment from 1972, wearing the same outfit, listening to the same music. The apartment's filled with weapons, and he's peeking out the windows, wondering why the revolution hadn't started yet. So now he's calling all of his ex-compatriots saying it's time to start it. Compatriots are now professors and doctors and lawyers and city councilmen, and and are 50, 60 years old, and they're not going back out on the streets. All the suburbanite, which is the character that I play, and say, hey, you got to go and talk him down. So I Fly to Los Angeles is about the meeting between this suburbanite about what is the path forward for Black America.
Mm. Wow. Okay. And so where can people go support the film?
Well, on August 26th, we're going to be in Atlanta at the Bronze Lens Film Festival at the Westin Peachtree Hotel at 11:45 a.m. And the Bronze Lens is one of the premier film festivals for African American product. We're going to have a great screening, going to be really lively. Levy Lee Simon, who is the writer and my co-star, is also going to be there. And then September 23rd, we're going to be at the Greater Cleveland Film Festival. And we're going to be, making the rounds and starting this discussion. What we need to be doing as Black Americans, how do we need to address what's going on out here? Because, they getting all the way live.
Yeah. Okay. And last two questions, being a person that's been in the industry, I would say for over at least 2 decades, right? Would you, with Netflix out,
Yes.
yeah, right. With Netflix out, if you had to do it all over again, let's say Netflix was around back when, you did Smart Dad, for instance, would you have chosen the Netflix route, or would you do the traditional TV show series route, and why?
I would do the traditional TV show route because better, and two, it's all going to end up on Netflix anyway.
Okay.
So, you might as well go and get your money and end up, you go to Netflix and it could have a whole new life on Netflix. I did a show called Rectify, #1 show on Sundance Channel, and it did okay, and then it went to Netflix and blew up.
Mm.
We're in a new world here, and yeah, I would always start in the traditional venue because the generation of people who's watching me still sits down to watch TV. But as I, start coming out with more and more temporary stuff for people that are your age, I'd probably do Netflix, because people your age and sit down and watch TV like it's a real TV.
Yeah, that's true. And how did you build your network in your name?
The most important thing that you can do is establish and maintain relationships, because somebody who is a production assistant at 25 will be a producer by 35, will be an executive by 40, be owning a production company by 45, 50 years old and calling shots. And so being nice to people, treating everybody with respect, and treating people like they are important enough for you to develop a relationship with them is the by far most important thing that you can do. That's how you build a network.
Well, can you tell the world where they can find and connect with you at?
Say that again.
Can you tell the world where they can find and connect with you? Like if they want to keep up with what you're doing?
Yes. You can connect with me on Twitter at Biggie Fries, Biggfryz. That's F R Biggifryz. That's Biggifryz. Biggie Fries.
Well, I thank you so much for your time today. It means a lot, and I'm glad to see that you're still grinding and you understand the money. And I know people got a lot of value out of what you're saying, and I see nothing but great things for you. I hope God continues to bless you and more success to come. So, thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Kat. Listen, reach out to your people in Atlanta and let them know that we're going to be there, and we would love to see them at the Bronze Lens Film Festival on August 26th at the Westin Peachtree Hotel, 11:45 a.m. In the meantime, thank you so much and walking me through the technology of getting a Google Hangout on my phone. I am in the know.
Yay! You guys make sure you check out the great actor. I call him the legendary Mr. John Marshall Jones.
I know you guys got tons of value out of watching the interview today. I want to thank Val for putting the interview together, and also Mr. John Marshall Jones for coming on my show. It means a lot to me. Make sure you guys watch his new movie, The Last Revolutionary, and definitely follow him on Twitter.